The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it. You found The Local Show right here on 570 WSYR. Two guys who champion local business, and we do have an agency as well. It's Zoe Advertising, and we help businesses grow through all of the different avenues that are out there now. And boy, there are a lot.
There are,
right?
And sometimes, unfortunately, businesses, small businesses, big businesses understand it, but small business, well, we couldn't afford to use an agency. Well, they actually spend less, and they get a plan, and they get a strategy. They don't just get ads.
Right.
Well, I'll go buy ads. Okay. Well, number one, you'll pay more than you would through us. Number two is, do you want ads? Is that what you need? Sure. And there's zillions of options. So
and you know, you always give more. So you know, you're not one to shy away from a conversation, and you're not charging anybody.
No.
You know, you're going through a big a conversation about their business, learning all about them, and they don't have to pay a dime.
We get calls every week, and as we start talking, they're not ready for some reason or another. They're going to whatever, but I still want to help them. Give them advice.
Exactly.
Like I'll teach up at the Small Business Development Center and some other things.
Sure.
I like to help people. That's part of my brand. So if you're thinking about, we should talk to those guys, or we should talk to somebody, give us a call. You can call the office or send me an email. We'll set something up. So Steve at ZoeAdvertising.com. If you see Tom, you're just wasting your pixels.
That's not true. I'll look at it.
Yeah.
I can read. All right. New guest to the show. Let's not scare him off, Steve. His name is Mark Kay. He's the Vice President of Commercial Sales at Canandaigua National Bank. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you. How are you?
Very good, Mark. Mark, are you a local guy, homegrown in Syracuse, or from somewhere else?
Yeah, so I'll start by saying I'm a product of Buffalo. Most people say, well, are you a box of cereal? And, I'm not, but having graduated Niagara University a long time ago in 1988, I got into public accounting. I thought I was going to, light the world on fire relative to numbers.
Sure.
But then I got into banking, and in and around 1988, I was asked to come out from Buffalo to help run the small business lending group for another bank who, like Harry Potter, will not be named. And I left, and my career has been fruitful ever since then. And I'm sitting here today now with this wonderful new organization coming to a theater near you. We call Onondaga County.
Oh, okay.
And it's exciting to be here.
So how did that happen? Why did Canandaigua Bank say, hey, let's go that way?
So let's start a little bit by talking about their history. They're not new. They're almost 140 years old.
Wow, yeah.
Being formed in around 1887. So for almost 140 years, they've been doing well by their constituents and their customers. We believe we're a bank for the community, right?
Yeah.
Most people think of community banks, they're like small and simple, and they can't really do the things that most companies need or bigger banks do. And so about 4 or 5 years ago, they started having sessions about how do we organically grow ourselves, right? Most banks find it really difficult to organically grow. And so they didn't want to acquire. And so logically, if you're going to go east or west, let's pick east. And Syracuse resembles a lot of the qualities that Canandaigua and Rochester have. And so now we're here.
How many branches?
So starting in December of this year, we'll have one downtown right on Washington Station, and then 3 more by the summer of next year, 26.
In the burbs or in the city?
In the burbs.
I meant how many so far in the company?
So far, there's 25 branches.
That's it.
Starting in and around 33 years ago, they branched out of Canandaigua into Rochester and Monroe County. And then now we're coming into Onondaga County for the growth of the bank.
So
How long have you been with the bank?
So I've been with the bank since July of this year.
Oh, okay.
I'm a relatively newbie,
relatively
so to
new, yeah.
speak. But again, I'm not new to the industry.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for well over 30 plus years. And when they came a calling, I said, let's give this consideration.
So there's banks, there's credit unions, there's savings and loans, there's government. If you're military, why should people go, these guys, I should talk to them?
It's interesting. It's a great question. The bank, spent many thoughtful years and months in trying to figure out the brand. What does our brand say? So within the last several months, they've rebranded. And the tagline goes, it's in our DNA. And if can is in your name, we can. Canandaigua National Bank.
Yeah, sure.
That's kind of, thought-provoking. So it's what they do. It's how they do it. To your question about why us, I call it the 3 Ps. People, priority, and process. Good people anywhere are hard to find. And so I'm now working with people who are humble, they're honest, the integrity is long and deep, and they really care for those people that they're calling customers. They prioritize the need, not so much a product or a service, and then they make the process happen.
So commercial, residential, home loans, car loans, student loans, what's your bailiwick? What do you guys do?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I'll go to that specific question. I think of it in 4 buckets, right? Personal and retail would be the first bucket.
Yeah.
Business banking, small business, and commercial lending, the second bucket. Wealth and trust, we have a wealth division and a trust division, the third bucket. And then finally, most people need a home mortgage. So residential mortgage in and of itself is a pretty big undertaking, and we do it all.
That's fantastic. I was going to ask you something, and now that totally slipped my mind.
So I was going to go to this. So you get excited about math. How did that happen?
I think it's
just
a gene.
curious. As a creative, I don't get it.
It's a gene. My wife and I have it. We call each other math nerds. It's just fun to play with numbers.
Okay. And I've heard something in the past, long before you guys had arrived here, that a bank will only loan you money if you really don't need it.
Yeah.
There's so many like bars and things and standards that it becomes very, especially commercially. A business needs a commercial LLC, or they need something, but it seems like the hoops to jump through are just ridiculous. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, and that has been tagged to most financial institutions. But what we say, again, going back to the people, the process, and the priority, we'll give you a quick no if we can't help.
See, that
as well as
magical.
A quick yes,
yeah, right.
Okay.
And tell you why.
So is part of your claim of distinction, your brand, that you're responsive fairly quickly, as opposed to, it's got to go to
Dragging
Buffalo.
their feet, yeah.
Sure. So years ago, I dealt with a bank that was in Buffalo that starts with an M and ends with a T. And this was 30 years ago, and there was a problem. They made a mistake, and I went to a local branch. I said, I can't solve this. They go, well, have you tried Buffalo? I said, I tried calling. Here was the line. I said, I can't get through it. They go, we can't get through either.
Yeah.
And I went, you're fired. No offense. And I understand they're doing things aren't that way.
I wanted to ask him, I remember what my question was. What's your role exactly? What do you do now? Are you a manager or?
So I'm one of the 2 senior commercial lenders.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
Bank.
Lender, yeah.
But back to your question, Steve, we understand we've got a lot of longevity and history. I'm just one who has 30 plus years of banking experience, but a quick no, understanding what you're asking for and how to get there is much easier than a long drawn out.
I am a fan of that as a business owner. cnbank.com. Canandaigua Bank, welcome to the neighborhood. Glad
Thank
you're
you.
here.
It's a pleasure to be here.